there again, BookTube, Leanne here, and welcome back to my channel. So today I just want to talk about the readathon I did last month because I haven't really mentioned it yet. I took part in the magical readathon run by G over at Book Roast and had lots of fun with that. So the idea of the magical readathon was to follow the novice path and get to the magical university, and basically this is like the starting point of getting into the university, so you have to overcome all of the tasks to get there. And then next April, I think, is when we start at the university and do something about it then. But for now, we're in September, we just had to follow the novice path and basically read up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 7 books to get in, but the minimum was 2. So I managed to do 3 of them. And basically the tasks we had to follow were, so there was the novice path entrance. So when you get there was read a book with a map. I did that one. For that I read The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. So this is the book I read for the first part of the readathon. So that was the book with the map. And just to prove that it has one, or 2, or lots, I don't know, maps. So after going through the novice path, the next task, getting to the ash-torn tree, was to read a book that keeps tempting you. And for me, that was 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I've been wanting to read this for a good while now. It's been tempting me. It's calling my name in the bookshop when I went. So I picked it up and I just read it because I really, really was dying to read this book. And I'm so glad I did. I loved every moment of reading this. So I'm glad I picked it up. So glad. And then the next one was to go through the Midst of Solitude and to read a standalone. I didn't do this one. I only read books that are either in series or going to be in series, I'm pretty sure, this month, so I didn't do that one. And then it was Ruin of Sky, a book featuring ghosts, haunted houses, or other supernatural elements. I was going to read Witches Steeped in God for this, but I DNF'd it, so yeah, I didn't do that one either. The next one was Obsidian Falls, read a thriller or mystery book. Not really my cup of tea. I don't really tend to read thrillers or mystery, so I didn't do that one either. The next one was the Tower of Rumination, and that was to read a 5-star prediction. I read Dune. I didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 2 stars. Yeah, no, it's not for me. I couldn't cope with so much of the content, and I got so annoyed and upset reading it. So it's just, don't be toxic on YouTube, guys. I don't like Dune. You're fine if you like it. I'm not going to have a problem with that. I know Dune has a massive fandom. People need to stop being toxic on the internet, because I have been on BookTube looking at reviews for Dune, because that's what I do. I read a book and then I look for loads of reviews just to see what other people think. And the comments section is awful for people doing Dune reviews. So guys, if you like Dune and people don't, like me, don't, just have a discussion. Don't get offended. Not everybody's going to like the same things. Simple as that, really. I don't like it. I want to see the movie to see if it's been improved upon. There's a lot of really cool actors that are going to be in the movie that I'm excited to see. So I'm hoping the movie, because the premise of Dune itself is amazing. It's just the way that it was put forward that wasn't. And I know it's a product of its time, but there was elements in there just weren't called for, weren't needed, and I just couldn't cope with it, to be honest. But yeah, that was my 5-star prediction. I was so wrong. Don't be horrible on the internet, people. Lesson from me today. So the next one was the Aurelium Academy, and that was to read a book with a school setting. And I didn't do that either. I haven't read a book with a school setting this month, so I did 3 of the prompts. That means I get into the university. Very excited about that. The other task was is still to read books based around your character. So to build a character, you have to read books. The deadline for this isn't until like April next year, but the books that I already had on my TBR fitted them too well to not do it. So I've made my character already. So I have a wilding from Carador, who's a Earthling. So for these, I needed so for wilding, I had to read a book. I can't remember what the prompt was for it. I think it was an outdoor book. Yeah. So for wilding, I had to read a book that took place mostly outdoors, and for this, I read this lovely book right here, The Hobbit, that I gave 5 stars to. So that was my outdoorsy prompt. You're very rarely indoors with this book, so perfect. And then for province, was Carador. I'm forgetting the prompts. Right, found it. So for province, I wanted to be my character to be from Carador, so it was to read a book that's from an ongoing series. So basically, Traitors of the Black Crown was sent to me as an arc from NetGalley, and I read this. Like, it's the first book in a series that is still being written, so this is the first book in that series. So that was the prompt for province. So from my characters from Carador. And heritage, because I'm an Earthling, I had to read a book with a element in the title, or like as a theme of the book. So I read Freshwater, and that's by Akwaeke Emezi. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you know. So they were my character creation prompts, and they are complete. And this is, let me see if I can zoom in. This is the character I created. Her name is Peridot, and she's my Earthling. I made it on like one of those character creation apps. I can't remember which. But yeah, that's her. She's supposed to have like green leopard dots, but that's the closest I could get on the app. So because of the choices I made throughout the month, because G basically posted a load of stuff, like choices that we could make going on the novice path and finding our way to the university. And based on all the choices that I made, I became a part of the Order of the Crescent, which is basically my university team, like what team I'm on in the Discord chat. And that makes me like a master of elements, which is perfect. My weapons of choice can be like quarterstaffs, bows, and tridents. Tridents are probably not going to be a thing that I use because I'm an earth thing. It's probably for like water elementals. But bow's perfect for me because I love bow and arrows. I did archery at university, so I'm very, very happy with that. And then also I get to have an animal familiar. I haven't worked out what I want yet for that. The colours of my house are teal and gold, which is pretty cool. And we have access to a really cool little secret garden called the Crescent Grove, where we can just go chill and relax and have little parties and picnics. So I think this is super, super cool. And I've really enjoyed doing this readathon. And I enjoy continuing on with it in the future and doing more readathons with G and with the people who follow her and my team. It'll be super, super cool to carry on with. So those are the books that I was prompted to read for this readathon, and I've really, really enjoyed doing it. So this month right now, I'm taking part in the Spoopathon run by Spoopy Hall, and so far, I'll give you a little quick update on that too. I've read 3 books for 2 prompts. I'm on team Ghouls Just Want to Have Fun, which is awesome, and our superpower is basically we can skip a prompt that we don't want to do, and for me that's non-fiction because I don't read non-fiction, and with the thing that I'm coming down on, so I started with a comfort reread. I don't know if this is focusing. Yep, comfort reread. I read the Fellowship of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien, and then I read 2 graphic novels, so I stayed on this prompt for 2 books. So I read The Sandman by Neil Gaiman, and then I also read, what else did I read? On a Sunbeam. I can show you that one. This absolutely gorgeous edition, because I want to show it off, of On a Sunbeam, and that's by Tilly Walden. And I loved it, just so you know. It was great. I sat and read this bulky thing, because it's a comic, in one sitting while my son's at school, and I loved it. So I stayed on graphic novel for 2. So I skipped non-fiction, as you can see, it's all crossed out. And now I'm working on my trick or treat prompt. I put a poll up on Discord, and people voted for House of Hades as my treat, or it was The Night Shadow by Sebastian de Castel for my trick, because I don't know why I've been putting it off. I do really want to read it. I was kind of hoping they'd make me, but people voted on my treat, which was The House of Hades by Rick Riordan, so I'm currently working on reading that. And then my Read It After Dark prompt to escape the haunted house, which is what we're doing during Spoopathon, is to escape. And for that I will be reading The Ice Whisperers, which is an e-arc that I have from NetGalley. It's a short book, so that's why I'm reading it after dark. And get it done during the dark time of the day. What are words? I don't know what words are. I've got a cold. That's why I haven't done any videos last week, because I've not been well enough to do them. I'm only just coming back now. I know you've seen it, but you haven't seen it on. I have a Gideon t-shirt. I'm so excited to be wearing this. So I'm wearing it because over at Wicked Good Books, they are doing a Gideon the Ninth podcast, which I'm all for. So Wicked Good Books, as well as like some of his followers on Discord and all that kind of stuff on YouTube and Discord, part of the Patreon basically, are doing a podcast, and it's so cool that they're doing it, because they're going to be discussing like chapter sections of Gideon the Ninth, and then Harrow after that as like season 2 of the podcast. And I'm so excited to have a community that loves Gideon as much as me. So I'm just putting it out there and advertising the fact that you should go check them out, because Gideon is the best thing ever. It's my favourite book of all time, and I will reread these books over and over and over again. So definitely go check them out. And yeah, it's a free podcast. You can listen to it, so go for it. Check it out. It's awesome. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and TTFN. Bye bye.